21st century man from his perspective.
Welcome, dear viewer, to the show, The 21st Century Man from His Perspective. We've talked about many things on the 21st century man, and today we are talking about the 21st century man who is very emotional. I don't know what you think, but I know we are going to say something about it today. Welcome.
Are you that man? 21st century man from his perspective.
I have said it, I'll not tire to say it, that today we are talking about emotions. And we have men here who are very emotional about emotions. And with me is emotional man, Nick Mosetti himself. And Pastor Solomon Ogutu, who is also emotional about these emotion issues. But first of all, I don't know what people think about emotions. So let's get to the streets. Let's hear what they have to say about emotions.
About boy child of today and boy child of yesterday. Men were encouraged not to cry whatever the situation, but of late, whereas that because of that, and girl child has been empowered. So we find that boy child nowadays has got a lot of expectation that they cannot manage to contain if they don't share. So they should be encouraged that they should be able to share whatever they are going through so that they can able to stabilize their emotion.
21st century man from his perspective.
From the streets, we get to real talk. Yeah. They say the shortest verse in the Bible.
Jesus wept.
Jesus
John
wept. 11:35.
11:35.
Yes.
Jesus wept.
Yes.
Jesus wept. Role model. Jesus wept.
Yes.
The man of sorrow expressed his emotions.
Yes.
And here we are living in the 21st century, and this man has grown up and he's told he can't weep. Tell me, Nick,
Yeah,
is it possible?
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Jesus wept. It means man is an emotional being.
Wow.
The problem is a perspective that we have, the perception that is there. Currently, children grow up, and when they injure themselves, we are told,
Which children? Don't be
a
general.
son or a child, when he gets injured, what will he be told? No, you are a man, don't do what? Don't cry. You are a
But
man,
men don't,
don't
cry.
cry.
Men don't cry. How do you just fall down and cry?
But Jesus,
Solomon, you used to fall down.
But
Jesus
Jesus
did not fall down.
yeah,
Eh,
of course he did not fall down.
He wept not because he fell down.
Of course,
Solomon.
but he wept.
He wept because the friend was dead.
Was dead.
Yes.
Yes, and it was sad.
But not
It was-
falling down.
Of course, there are several aspects. Huh? There are so many things that can make a man to cry and to weep.
So what are these
So
things?
sadness, like Jesus cried because he had lost his friend Lazarus, and it was sad for him. Yeah. What if you injure yourself, as we were saying? Obviously, it will be painful,
Yes.
and so you'll have to cry.
I need to hear this emotional man, Solomon. You grew up. You grew up.
Yes.
And I know your father was your father. He was the man. The typical man. And when you were growing up, he told you what brings up the real man. What did he tell you?
Emotions will dictate how we behave. Our emotions. I pick 4 things: sadness, anger, happiness, and fear.
Wow.
There are quite a
Sadness,
number.
I've just
Disappointments.
yes, those are also there.
Yep.
But one which we can use easily to liken a man and give him acceptance in the society is happiness. That is the only thing you can now identify. You don't expect to see a man crying in public. Thou shalt not. Mark that.
Hey!
Because when they see a man cry in public, it depicts, in quotes, weakness.
It is not weakness. It is
Okay,
not weakness.
Okay. When a man cries in public, he's a weak man.
It is not weakness. That is the misconception.
Leave
that we
alone,
have.
first of all, misconception. But the thought, how we've been brought up from 19th, 18th, 17th, 20th century, thou shalt not cry in public.
Tears are a sign of weakness.
Yes.
So where should the man cry?
No.
In the toilet.
The thing is this. When we were brought up, we were not explained to where to cry.
We were only told,
We were only told.
not to cry.
Yes.
Now, you know, if
Nick,
you look,
you were saying we can cry. Where?
if you talk about that, then we're talking about, you know, we are looking at history, our parents, our great-great-grandparents. Even biblically, if you look at the Bible, then we have several of our prophets and kings who cried. Let's go to the king, Hezekiah himself. What happened to him?
But he cried
He
in the
became
temple.
sick.
He cried to the
And
Lord
when
in the
he's,
temple.
yeah, but the fact was, he cried.
He
The
was
temple.
alone.
He was
He
alone.
wa- yes, but he was in the temple.
No, Nick.
He
Nick
cried.
should accept this
Nick
fact.
Then-
should accept the fact.
Come and join us.
Nick,
No, we will
You
agree.
cannot go to
Of
work
course.
and sit in the office
The
to start
only,
crying.
the only
I
thing
think-
I'll agree with you is, if, you know, we are talking about managing emotions and controlling those emotions.
I think
If-
we've cried a lot. Let
if
me, let me give you another perspective. Is the man allowed to be afraid?
Of course, he's human.
Is he allowed to be afraid?
He's human.
Man is not allowed to
When-
be afraid.
Now, you see,
Moses.
you see a lion coming,
Yes.
and you say, no, I'm a man, so I'm going to face it.
Can I ask you?
Yes.
And let me ask Nick, because it seems like Nick is not getting this. Are you a 21st century man? Listen, Nick, when we are looking at a man, and here is a man, and they knock the door at night,
Yes.
who goes to the door? The
Of
knock
course.
looks like it's a very serious knock.
Of course, in the house, the man is the head of the family, is the leader.
Is he allowed to be afraid?
He is the leader of the family. If there is danger that is going to, you know, it's affecting the entire family, of course, he takes the lead. He's the one who's going to open the door.
So
you don't
he's not allowed
expect your
to be-
child to go and open the door, and the father is there.
So he's
What-
not allowed to be afraid.
Yes.
So he's allowed to also be afraid, of course. But you see, at that point, he has the children.
Can he
So-
express his fear in the presence of the children?
To some extent, yes. To some extent, no.
Okay, now you're going to help us. How does he avoid expressing this fear in the presence of the children?
At that point, you know, when he'll have to look at the surrounding and say, I don't want to do this for the sake of the children.
Is there
So
an effect?
I'll go somewhere, probably in my bedroom. You know, you'll do the public show for the children, but going back behind the closed doors, you will go and weep and all those things that
Thou
you're supposed to
shalt
do.
not cry in public.
You know, to some extent, the statement will be true, but the most important thing is you have to express it. You should not suppress. If you suppress the feelings and the emotions that you have, then it's a dangerous thing.
Nick, you got
Because
a point.
when you're suppressing it, you're not controlling it.
Wow.
There's a difference between controlling and suppressing. Suppressing, you're trying to keep it. That is what now boils up. At the end of it all, then what happens? It turns into anger.
I want to ask Nick a statement.
Yeah.
I am a pastor.
Yes.
God forbid, but let me just use it as an example. Assume that my dad dies.
Yes.
Then, as your pastor,
Yeah.
you find me crying so seriously. How do you view it?
You know, what does Romans 12 say? You weep with those who weep, laugh with those who do what?
Love.
You are in a grieving moment. You are grieving the loss of your dad. What will you do? I'll be sympathetic to you. I'll feel whatever you
Nick,
are
let
feeling.
me put your words
Let
clearly for
me.
him.
I want to give you an example.
In fact, what
I want
you're
to give you
saying
an
is
example.
this.
Yeah.
Let me just interject you. What you're saying is this.
Yes.
how are you going to comfort the weeping if you've never wept?
If you've never wept.
How?
Now,
Yes, you're a pastor, but it's painful. If we see that you're weeping,
Yeah.
tomorrow you can't tell me, do not weep. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning.
No.
When you are preaching
No.
it, you preach it out of experience.
Exactly.
How can you preach to us when you've never wept?
Okay.
I'll give you an example.
I've raised my hand.
I'll
I've
give you an-
surrendered on that.
Allow me to give you a practical example.
Yes.
I lost my dad
Sorry.
last year in October. And he was going through, surgery, and we called, and oh no, he's out of the theater. That he's recovering. Then within some times, then my brother calls and says, "Hey, this guy is getting worse." When I was preparing to now, let me just prepare and leave and go to Kisii to go and see. Then I get another call 5 minutes later that the mzee is done what? He's dead. I was preparing with my wife to leave. I couldn't control it. I started crying. And I just went directly to my bedroom. And when my kids saw that, they ran to me.
Why did you
And
go,
when
why
the
did
rain
you go to
came-
your bedroom? Why not the sitting
It was that's unconsciousness that comes in, the confusion that comes in. So I just ran back to my bedroom. But the kids, had started crying, wailing from the other side, going. When the kids saw that, they started crying, and they came. They also came to the bedroom. When I saw them and the kids telling me, "Daddy, wacha kulia," what could I do? I stopped.
But you didn't express yourself.
No, I
You are
expressed
still in
myself.
pain.
But you see, there's an extent that you have to control and manage those children.
Oh,
You are doing it for the children.
You get me on some
After
word. Control.
Control.
So a man
There's-
can express his emotions.
Yes.
But these emotions need to be controlled.
Need to be managed.
Help me.
In our
Help me, where is the
contemporary
difference between being a man?
in our contemporary world,
Yes.
and in leadership, we are taught something called emotional intelligence.
Wow.
Emotional
Intelligence.
It involves self-awareness, that you are able to understand yourself.
Wow.
And you're able to understand the surrounding and understand the people and the emotions of the people who are surrounding you. Emotional intelligence.
According to the emotional intelligence of my brother, makes him to dump from where he is and join us. I don't know whether you're getting the direction he's taking.
I've not joined you.
So that you understand your surrounding.
Understand the surrounding.
You understand the way people are wired within where you are. So that when you find that you are in a situation where you need to cry,
Yes.
the emotional intelligence will tell you that, brother, you are the CEO. Don't cry here.
What I'm getting my brother saying, and I think you two are on the same boat now. What I'm getting clearly is crying is not going to be the big issue or the worry here. But the thing is going to be you can express yourself. But there's a problem we have right now. How are we going to deal with a man? We have too many crybabies. Crying everywhere.
Of course,
Crying
we
for
have
everything.
Of course, we have so many crybabies.
Your phone is lost.
Yes.
We cannot have peace because this young boy is now crying everywhere.
We even cry for love. Pastor, have you ever cried for love?
Hey.
No, you need to first of all give your example before you come. No.
Pastor does not want to go there.
But
I will go, but after
you are
given-
bringing in the issue of crybabies.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
That nowadays we try to copy. I want to bring the crybabies part.
Yes.
We are trying to emulate the Western world and whatever they do. That you see a man is going to propose to a lady and he has to kneel down and do all those funny things. Then when he's
No,
rejected,
don't call those
then-
things funny things.
Those funny things. Let me just call them funny things.
Don't call them funny.
They are funny.
How should I call them?
I know.
What do you refer to?
Andrew, those things are funny.
I'm going to give you a biblical justification. Finish
Which one?
talking.
Now, when you are then rejected, then what happens? You start crying. You start crying.
Before
really?
people. Before people.
Before people. Nowadays, it's done in
My
public.
brother,
By the way,
do you know
not
the
even
pain,
in a room.
Do you know the pain of rejection?
People do that even in streets.
No, do
How
you
do
know
you start
the
doing
pain
that?
of rejection?
How do you start doing that?
You see, when you are rejected, it's not simple.
Let us not justify the pain of rejection by doing wrong things.
What are the wrong things?
Do something which is proper. You
What is
cannot
the
go to
proper?
propose to a lady before you even have a prior information about what she wants.
About what she wants. Have you got that information to know
Yeah.
that probably she is also ready for marriage and we are in the same what? We're in the same boat.
So
let me now do the necessary and do what? And propose.
When she refuses, you call it
Then you
pain
call
of
it-
rejection.
No, but one thing we have to agree with is it's painful.
What is painful?
No,
You still don't own this person
No.
and you're still calling it
No,
painful.
what is painful? Tell
What
me, what
is
is painful is you never prepared yourself.
Exactly.
Precisely, and that's why I'm saying the 21st century man was not ready for this. He is actually expressing himself, the pain he has for not being ready.
No.
So you see, you're saying two things here.
Yeah.
You're saying that strike the iron while it is hot.
Exactly.
Make the move when it is right.
Yes.
If you make the wrong move, you are likely to cry.
That is true.
Because you see, when you make the wrong move, that thing is painful. You will cry.
But you see,
but
people
the
do it
hope-
for the show.
No. It's not supposed to be for the show.
And that is why you brought in the issue of the crybabies. They do it for the show.
Brother Andrew, please speak this statement.
Yes.
What he's saying.
Yes.
That the 21st century man is out for identity. He wants to please his ego. He wants to fit in the society. He wants to be part
seen.
of the question and be seen. That I also went to the street with a red flower and went down to my knee to propose to my wife. Then few clips are picked and hung somewhere in the air for people to see and give some likes here and there.
If I'm to buy a flower for my
are
wife,
you
let me
going
tell
to
you,
say-
if I'm to buy a flower to my wife,
Yes.
I'll buy it, yes.
Yes.
But I'll know I'll take it home where she is.
Why do you
And
want
I'll
to take
give
the
her-
flower secretly when your wife
It
wants
is not
publicly?
secret. She's at home. She's
One-
not in the street.
One of the producers talked
Your
about
wife
this.
wants it publicly. Why are you taking it secretly? Is my question.
She is at home.
I want to answer
So
you.
do I carry her and bring her to the street, then hand it over at the street?
I want
you
to
afraid
tell you
of your
this.
wife?
No, you know, sir,
I'm not afraid of
one
my
of the
wife.
producers talked about public display of affection.
Of
Okay.
affection.
Your
Let's-
wife
let's-
is not for public.
Let's hold it. Let's hold it. Let's take a break. This is getting too hot. I need a break. I need some water. We'll be back soon.
21st century man from his perspective.
For God so loved the world.
Behold what manner of love.
Yes.
Come see what manner. I can't tell you. You have to see it for yourselves.
That he gave his only begotten Son.
I think it's important for us to forgive even if they do not confess. But for me as a Christian, I need to confess.
That whosoever believes in him.
God's intention for us is higher, way beyond what we can ever imagine.
Should not perish.
Follow the lamb whithersoever he goeth. If he says stop lying, stop lying. If he said keep my commandments, we keep them.
But have everlasting life.
We've been studying God's word and looking at steps that we ought to follow in order to get to know Him more.
Let all things now living sing a song of thanksgiving. Let all things that have breath praise the Lord, for His worthy. Come everyone and join in breath of praise.
This brand new season is coming soon on Hope Channel Kenya.
21st century man from his perspective.
Oh, welcome back, dear viewer, to the show, the 21st century man from his perspective. And today, you have seen in the first segment, we are getting emotional about emotions. And I don't want my friends to think that this is not anchored in the Bible. And when as we were going for the break, we were talking about the man bringing the flower hidden, expressing his emotions in a hidden way. And I'm not going to buy expressing emotions in a hidden way. Genesis 29, verses 11. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. Jacob wept. This lady is too beautiful. Wept
Of course he
Where?
wept.
Where?
in public.
Is it justified
Is
in
it
the
just
Bible?
that it was in public?
Okay, were they in a room? Were they in a room? Let me just check. Let me just check. When I check the setting of Genesis 29, he went and found him by the well.
But she was alone.
Are you sure?
Let me
Yes.
assist Andrew. I want to assist you. And on this I want to be very, very let me go low. Everything which is started in public
Yes.
will end in public. Everything which is started in some places which are calm and isolated, in quiet places organized, will end with the way they started. The problem we have
Yes.
is that we don't prepare for any eventuality.
Wow.
We are overtaken with what happens at that point.
Eventuality.
Yes, that what I want now is to please the public. Myself going out with a flower to the public to kneel is not for me. And
But
let
it-
us accept
it is
this,
not-
just relax.
it
It
is
is
not
not
manly.
for me.
It is not
He
manly.
laid down
Even
his
even not
life
even not for manly.
for his friends.
He is going outside there for a show off.
Affection.
When that thing will become sour, I tell you, the first person to go back to the public will be the person whom you took to the public. That one will be double tragedy. But if you have time to pick somebody's daughter, express your emotions in the best way possible, in a room somewhere, secluded, the two of you, let us talk heart to heart. I want to marry you. Let her accept it in silence. The silence of the chirping of the birds, jumping from tree to tree.
So birds can watch you.
Just relax.
Human beings can watch.
Nature has got a way on how it calms the anger. The next time something wrong happens, you can come back under mutual agreement and sort it out.
These men are afraid of being rejected in public. It's coming out clearly.
It's
But
okay.
let
No,
me
public
hear.
public
It's-
rejection. Public
It's-
rejection
it's-
is very
it's-
bad.
It's okay to show it publicly. It's okay to show it publicly at some point. Huh?
You-
I'll
you-
give
you're
you an
talking.
example. There's a time. Huh?
Be blessed.
There's a time.
And
I participated in one wedding. A wedding.
Your wife must be
A
watching.
church wedding. Yeah, of course, she knows this story. A church wedding, because she was there. Now, in the process, after the man had been given the lady, the man broke down in tears. But there were tears of joy.
Oh, it's
So
not
tears,
wrong to
it
cry
does-
in public.
It doesn't have to be tears of anger. Each and every time of sadness.
You're alone, my brother.
There are times we have tears of joy.
I'm not alone. Why
There are
must this
tears-
man cry?
tears
Is he
of
crying
joy.
because he has received what he never deserved, or what is it?
My brother, bone of my bones,
Flesh of my
flesh
flesh.
of my flesh.
She
And
shall be called
my wife.
Appreciate
You
it
see-
the best
you
way
see-
possible, but don't cry before people, because somebody will mistake
my God.
that. You've received what you don't deserve.
There
no.
there-
Why
there- there-
Did you
there are
cry
times-
before the wedding?
There are types of tears. There are tears
Wow.
of joy.
Wow.
And of course, there are those tears of anger and sadness.
Yes.
We have to separate the two.
I said that this is
So
getting emotional.
when there are tears of joy, like,
Yes.
of course, even Adam did that, and he said, bone of my bones, and what? Flesh of
Let
my
us,
flesh.
you
Now,
guys, let
my
us be
brother
practical.
who was wedding had gotten what he had looked for quite some times.
Yes.
And so he felt like, oh, finally.
He just expressed himself.
Finally, I've received it. Finally, I've gotten it.
In
And
fact,
so what was coming out from his...
Let me just say the truth. You're
Yeah.
talking of your brother. My best man, I think, he was also overcome. And I wasn't overcome. Personally, I wasn't overcome. But my best man was overcome. What I'm only saying is, this is possible, and we must not mistake men. We
Exactly.
need to differentiate one thing over here. There are crybabies, and it is not wrong. You cannot be crying over everything when you're a man.
Exactly.
A man must come out with manly traits. He must be able to be seen to be in charge. When Jesus weeps in public, Jesus does not weep and people are saying, hey, look, now he's scared. No, they say, wow, he loved this person.
He loved this.
As in, they
He loved his
interpret-
friend.
They interpret the
Exactly,
tears.
exactly.
When a man is crying, cry with some manly attributes. Cry in a way that when somebody sees you, they interpret it correctly. We cannot mistake you when you're crying in public.
Let's get to Peter.
Get to Peter.
You
Let's
cry,
get to Peter.
you cry like a man.
Cry like a man.
Peter has betrayed Christ. Peter has betrayed Christ.
Yes.
Yeah? And he has realized, oh,
wow, this is what I did.
This is exactly what I did, because he had been told that you will deny me.
Yes.
3 times.
Yes.
And when he denied Christ, and what happened to him? When he realized, oh, this thing has happened, what did he do?
He left the public.
He left the public.
He cried bitterly. The Bible
Where?
says he wept bitterly.
Where?
Bitterly.
I was
Where?
targeting you.
Where?
Just a minute.
It is in the Bible.
He
We
wept
let's
bitterly.
not go
And
very
by
far.
the way,
Yes.
from his weeping, what happened?
He
It says
repented.
he repented.
Yes.
So is that weeping bad?
It
No,
is
no,
not bad,
it's
but
not
in
bad.
this case, Peter decided
No.
to hide himself a bit from people.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and we need to get this clear, because you're saying, in Peter's case,
Yes.
Peter, in fact, if you do a clearer study, you will understand. He went to the spot
Yes.
where Jesus was praying in
Yeah.
the Garden of Gethsemane,
Yes.
and she was crying over there.
Yeah.
Now, what we are trying to say, which is really practical,
Yeah.
the 21st century man cannot keep crying everywhere.
That's it.
But the 21st century man cannot be a man who cannot express himself.
That is the thing. Allow the man should not be ashamed of doing what? Of crying or of shedding tears.
No,
If man feels like, I told you about the emotional intelligence,
Let me add you
knowing
one.
the environment where you are, if that will be, then you'll rather go into your closet
Let me
somewhere
ask-
else
let me
and
add
do what?
one.
And weep and express it.
Let me-
But don't suppress it,
Let me add you one.
because
Can I give you an example?
don't
Before you
suppress
give
it.
your
huh?
example,
Yes.
Don't
just
suppress
one.
it
Yes.
because it's in the public. You're not suppressing it in the public. You are managing it. But when you go into your closet, then you release it.
Assume
You let it out.
assume that your wife annoys you. Kabisa, to the extreme. Will you cry where she is?
When she annoys you, control yourself.
Emotional intelligence.
So why,
Emotional intelligence.
why is it now you cannot cry before your wife?
Why you
Because-
know,
But others you cannot cry.
how do you cry because he has just annoyed you? Do you know, the only thing, it's probably the anger that you have. You are trying to suppress it. You know, your wife has annoyed you. You are trying to suppress. You don't want to show and tell her, you've done what? You've annoyed me, and I don't like this. You've done this.
and
So what you've done,
I'm dealing
what
with
you've
the
done,
cry
what you've done
babies.
is, you have tried not to tell her, to express it to her, that she has done what? She has annoyed you. Then it keeps on boiling in your body and in your heart. It builds what? Anger. And anger is what now brings in things that we call currently. You see so many suicides.
Yes.
God
Now,
forbid, you don't
suicide-
want to beat her.
It is-
You start shedding tears. God forbid. I cannot advocate for beating. So
You are-
the only
you are
place,
emotional.
the only thing you can do is to just cry as a man. Do you cry manly or how do you do?
Of course, you can't be wailing, and you can be sobbing, silently.
So the tears comes out and the wife is seeing.
sobbing silently.
And the wife is seeing the tears coming out.
Is it a problem?
Allow me to say something.
Yeah.
There's a songwriter that says tears are a language God understands.
Exactly.
And there are moments when
That is 55.
you are at a moment
55
when
versus 8.
you're at a moment when
Some 56, huh?
56 versus 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what I wanted to develop on that is, you remember when I was talking about fear?
Yeah.
You see, when, let's take for instance, an animal gets into the house. Some animal just gets into the house. And you're there, and you're afraid of this animal. And everyone is there. An intelligent man, what do? Request them that, I want to sort this room, so kindly move to the other side. It allows you to express your fear
Exactly.
properly.
Leave alone an animal.
You have understood your environment.
It becomes difficult. It becomes difficult that there was a mouse that came into the house.
That is what
and
I wanted.
Dad
A mouse.
is jumping on top of the table. Where will the children jump?
Where will the children
so
jump?
listen, when there's a mouse, you say, okay, go to the bedroom. 21st century man is intelligent. Go to the bedroom. And once they go to the bedroom, you close the door and you open the door of exit.
Exactly.
And ensure you clear the animal from the house. And
Then you call the children back.
Then you
Say,
call them
I've
back.
done it.
I don't know. I
You call
don't
them
know
back.
places
But-
where you support the 21st century man and places where you don't support it. That is the only place we don't meet. You want to tell me that the animal gets in and you're intelligent, well, we call it what?
Emotional
The
intelligence.
emotional intelligence tells you to send people to the bedroom. You remain alone and open the door for exit for the rat to run away. But now when your wife annoys you, you want to tell me that you need to cry as a man, or rather you hold your tears.
No.
You hold your tears. You hold your
At what
tears.
point will your intelligence tell you that this is now time for crying? This is now no time for crying.
Allow me to give you a text. Allow me to give you a text. You see, when you go to the book of Genesis, you know the story in the book of Genesis, and Jacob is coming to meet Esau. Genesis chapter 33, reading from verses 1. Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came with 400 men. He divided the children, Leah and Rachel, and the two handmaids. He put them, and he strategically positions them. Then you know what? Let me tell you, he's afraid of Esau, but intelligence, the 21st century man, is expressing his emotion.
Smart.
But you don't want your children to be scared when they see the way you are afraid of Esau. So he's going, and it's like he's the one. In case there is a challenge, let the children, the 21st century man must be protective. Part of the ways in which he deals with his emotions, he's also protecting his children. He's protecting the society emotionally. You see, there are moments when if you just break down, you've affected everyone. Everyone is crying. Exactly. But there are moments you can hold it up, but it's for the greater good of everyone.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that you will not let it out. They say men die of depression for the reason that they don't express
the emotions.
Don't speak it out. They don't talk it out. You know, we are not going to be like ladies who meet in the streets and tomorrow they're all crying. We are going to be able to hold it up, but we must know the thing with the emotional man, the 21st century man who is emotional, he knows the right time,
to cry,
the right place, the right way to express himself.
I love those statements.
You understand your environment.
I love those statements.
You understand your
the
environment.
Right
time,
the right
place,
the right
way.
Okay.
Yes.
I wish you could have expressed that again. The 21st century man, now it is good you're coming back to me. We need to understand everything which surrounds us the way you put it.
Yes.
For the sake of the one who is looking at us, and for the sake of the confidence bestowed on us.
Yes.
Because that cry can even make somebody again to get the fear the more. Let's look at James 1:20.
Yes.
What does it say?
The book of James,
1:20.
written by one of the best apostles, very calm man in charge of the church. James in 1:20 says, the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God.
Which translation is this?
New King James.
New King,
The anger of man.
Exactly. The anger of man worketh
not the righteousness of God.
Yes, which means it works against the righteousness of God. Is that what it says?
True.
Yes.
Yes. Now, if your anger can work against the righteousness of God, why must you give it out? Why?
You're almost saying that anger is something that you should not be generous with. You see, anger is very destructive. Anger is very destructive. And that's why, my brother, I like when you're the one who is developing this, because we told you that there are moments when it boils up in you. And between expressing yourself and shedding a tear, the lesser evil is shed the tear.
I go into the church board.
How does it build and become an anger? Because you had those emotions, but you felt I needed to suppress them. I needed to
Let's say it's
I'm a man, like I'm a man.
Let's say it's church board scenario.
You know, men. The perception is that men are strong. Yeah. That men can withstand everything.
Are you saying in public? Are you saying in public that men are weak?
Of course, men are stronger, but there's that perception that when
is it a perception or
there's a perception when it comes to emotions. We say, dear ladies can cry every time, okay? But you don't expect that from a man, because men are masculine. They're also expected to be they don't get like the feelings and all those things. So in that case, a man keeps on boiling these things in the heart. They keep on keeping it without expressing it. Then it turns into what? Anger. And anger is dangerous.
Wow,
what you read.
anger is dangerous.
Dangerous.
Let's just hold it there. Let's hold it there, because when you're going to talk of a dangerous thing, you need sufficient time. You need to take a break.
Remember, I want to go to the church board.
In and out. I'll take you to the church board after the break.
Yes.
Let's go briefly for a break.
21st century man from his perspective.
Hello children, I have great news for you. A brand new season of Bible Treasure Quest is coming soon. Do you know why you believe what you believe? There are things about our faith that are important for us to understand as children. Watch this brand new season and learn more through quizzes, games, stories, and songs. Don't miss out!
21st century man from his perspective.
Welcome back, dear viewer. The show is the 21st century man from his perspective. And today, I don't know, but my hosts, my guests are getting emotional about these emotions. And before we went for the break, you were heading to a church board.
Yes.
Yes.
I walk into the church board as the chair of the board.
Yes.
And an issue comes up. And some old lady somewhere, or a lady or a man somewhere, just picks a word with me. And there I am as a pastor. Anger as a human being gets into me. Andrew, how do I help it?
How do you help it? Anger picks up with you.
Yes.
And remember, one of the things my brother said before we took the break, that man is viewed as being very strong. Can you imagine that strength is also being viewed by others, that you are strong enough to control your emotions?
Exactly.
Are you looking at it that when I lose my temper, but I'm a man. Exactly. Man should have been strong enough to handle his temper. Strength is not in the muscles you possess. Strength is going to be in the tempers, in the emotions I am able to control. Listen, the moment somebody says you are weak, don't beat them to prove you are strong.
Exactly.
When you're a strong man, you don't beat.
The weak
Let me tell you, strong people, they don't even say they are strong. They just walk and you see strength is walking. And that is the real man. Even in his emotions, the way he's handling them. Let me tell you, if you're told you're weak, you're not weak.
The reason Aspire brought this as it prepares to talk, this time round, I'm talking on behalf of the 21st century pastor.
Yes.
You also have to take care of us, because we will be dealing with the people. We are still young. We've gotten into the ministry. We are many, and we are so many, and we are into the service of the Lord. Some of us were never taught on how to manage some of these things. You get it? Now, when you walk into the board, you are still young, not even married. That those old men seated here and there, and the ladies, and there they are hitting you left and right because of a mistake which you did. That is why I've asked, how do we handle the anger? And thank God, you've given, though he's struggling to answer.
At that point, then you are the leader. You are going to chair the board. It means you are the chair. You really
need to
so
say
if
that
you are
loudly.
The leader, if you are the leader, then you have to show leadership.
That's it.
One. Number two.
What happens when the president loses his emotions?
He is still the president, and he has to show leadership.
Can he lose his emotions in public?
Of course they do.
No, but
they are not supposed to, because they are supposed to manage them.
Okay.
Now, you are a pastor. I want to bring it the Christian perspective. You are the pastor.
Yes.
And you go into the church board and somebody angers you. You know, let us not lose our Christian identity. We say we are Christians. We are following Christ. Genesis says what? We were born in the image and the likeness. We are created in the image and the likeness of who?
Of God.
Of God. The Bible also says that our God is slow to anger. He is slow to
image and likeness of God, and this God is slow to
anger.
He
is slow to anger. Otherwise, if he was not slow to anger, then we would have all been done what?
Leave alone even
now,
us.
As a Christian and as a pastor,
leave alone us.
Can you borrow the leaf from Christ
Leave alone
from
us.
God, who is slow to anger.
Leave alone us. I repeat.
Yes.
The first person who should have gotten the anger of God to the fullest is the devil himself.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
Is the first one who should have gotten it to the fullest, to the brim,
Yeah.
was the devil himself.
So he gives an example. Look at how I am dealing when I am angry.
Yes.
Exactly.
Give time and space.
Hey, he is bringing in something that is interesting, that when a man wants to control his emotions, he must give it time and space.
Exactly.
For him to be able to think critically.
Yes.
Now, do you know there are certain words?
Yeah.
And I want you to talk about words. There are certain words you may have said, even to your spouse, in a fit of anger.
Exactly.
Which afterwards you come and sit and you say, no, that wasn't manly.
That is true.
And then you see what happens? Did you hear what the book of Proverbs said? A soft answer,
Quenches.
a soft answer turns away wrath.
Yes.
And you see what is happening is, if I am not going to have a soft answer, Proverbs 15 verses 1, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger.
Anger.
Now we are going to say that your wife has abused you. Nick, I'm putting you on the spot. Nick.
Yes.
Your wife has abused you. A big one. What do?
You're good for nothing.
Do you? No, please.
No. Let us call a spade a spade.
You're putting one in his mouth.
No, Nick, you've been told.
Yes.
You are good for nothing.
It is okay.
When compared amongst other men.
Let Nick be practical.
I want to be practical.
Yes.
I want to be practical.
Be practical.
Of course, I'll feel bad.
Okay.
I'll feel bad
Nick,
and
you
I'll
must
be
start with
angry.
that.
I'll be angry.
Yes.
But what did we agree? I have to manage it.
Hey.
I have to manage
Okay,
it.
so Nick, you're saying
I
on
have
set.
to manage it.
Nick is
in
not a
a way.
21st century man.
Of course.
No, I think he's being very 21st century. He's saying that when he's abused, he feels the pain. One thing we must agree, so that we are not abused by our wives, we must agree that when we are abused, it is painful.
In our
Agree.
grandparents, huh?
No.
Our
First agree.
I want to go.
Agree. Is
Yes.
abuse painful?
Abuse is painful.
Is abuse painful?
It depends with the magnitude. You are good for nothing. You are good for nothing.
No,
Okay.
let me.
Our grandparents.
Our grandparents, their wives or our grandmothers will not talk bad where our grandfathers will be.
The
Because
text is in the
at
Bible.
that point, they will be done what? You'll get a slap and all those things.
That's not African traditional religion.
know,
in the Bible,
in the
it says, do not rebuke an elder in public.
in public. But you see, you have already rebuked an elder in public. So what will the elders do then?
They will slap you.
Exactly.
But in the 21st century,
But in the 21st century, two things will happen. Two things will happen. One is you'll get one who knows how to manage. There are two people here who will manage his emotions and let it go and know how to handle it. But more of the 21st century man will go and pick a panga or something and kill. You've seen so many deaths.
Why do you kill your wife because they said you are good for nothing?
Let alone abuse. You've seen people killing their wives and even children for the sake of food.
Why?
Just a mere food. That kind of anger.
You've not
That
cooked
kind
food
of
in good
anger.
time.
That kind of anger. It's not that it was just like a moment, an event that had just happened. It has been boiling. It has been boiling. And this person probably has been planning.
Are you saying that the 21st century man who has not managed his emotions will one day be managed by his emotions?
Of course.
The emotions
and
will
that is why,
erupt
and
one
that
day.
is why we are
Andrew,
seeing, we are hearing of suicides.
Andrew, let us go slowly.
And we are also hearing of people killing one another.
Andrew, let us go slowly on this.
Let's slow down.
Let's slow down.
Yes.
And this is very practical.
Soft answer turneth away wrath.
Yes.
Grievous words stir up
Anger.
Stir up.
And I want
anger.
to pick.
Up.
I
Yes.
want to pick the last one.
Stir up.
Yes.
Anger.
You walk into the house.
Yes.
You've struggled to make the family be what's supposed to be. Then your wife tells you you're good for nothing.
You are emotional about this good. Let's handle it.
We want to handle this issue.
There are quite a number.
I want to put them
quite a number
together.
of things that come with that,
I'm putting them together
Yeah.
so that we handle what we call an abuse from the families. Most men outside here some of them are looking at us, are dying inside.
Exactly.
Because of the statements their wives will always tell them. Some of those words are repeated over time.
Exactly.
Any statement which is repeated over time, it sticks in the mind and you become that statement.
And
if you
most
don't
who have been
control
told,
it,
they've been told they're good for nothing. Are you saying that even...
they end up being good for nothing.
Wow.
So as
I'm still talking.
Yes.
They end up being good for nothing. Why? Because they tend to look at the negative more than the positive this man brings home.
Let's deal with emotions. If I tell you, you are the real man, and you know you are good for nothing, what will happen?
Why are you playing with words?
Your wife just comes. Your wife comes and says that, when I look at you, I know today you didn't bring something, but you're a real man. I know tomorrow will be a serious day.
That self-esteem goes up.
Ooh. Your emotions, are you now
they'll be stirred.
Yes.
Oh, so
you look at yourself in a mirror and say, this lady has accepted myself.
So it means
what is the opposite?
The lady has said the same thing.
Exactly.
He has said, today you did bring something, but he didn't say you are good for
Please,
nothing.
you guys be practical.
Tell us.
Anything positive will be picked positive and with high esteem.
And you will seek to prove it.
Anything negative will always diminish the power of a man.
And the man will want to prove that
he will not want to prove, but his self-esteem will be lowered. When he walks out to the public, he will be what the wife told her. Told him.
So in that case, what will that man do?
That is now what we need to sort out in the 21st century.
What will he do?
Do you know what?
Yeah.
The man who is told is good for nothing,
yes,
gets himself unfaithful.
Yes.
He goes to prove that
he's a man. He's a man somewhere. He's a man somewhere.
The man who is told is
he's
good
a man
for nothing
somewhere.
lives here and goes and buys something, spends his money, and drinks himself to say, now I am a man.
God is good. I need to have baptism here. That is now the thing which is practical. You are now, all of you are now converted. At any given point in time, you give a man something positive. He picks it and runs with it.
He's an emotional man. Deal well with his emotions.
Because he appreciates that which happens. And by the way, he will come back to make sure that you feel the presence.
Wow.
At any given point in time, you make the man to feel diminished. You will look for that man and you will not get it. That is the practical aspect of it.
Yes, you will not get the man, but on the flip side of it, the man may also end up killing the other person because he wants to feel like I'm the man, but my status in this family,
we need to sort out.
My status in this family has been done what?
That is what we need to sort out.
Let's sort it out.
Number one,
yes.
Even if you are told you are good for nothing, accept it. That one day she appreciated
will appreciate
you. The day she appreciated you, you accepted it. Come back and look at the ways where you are good for nothing. Make sure that you fix the good for nothing things.
In fact, do you know what? Ladies don't just make statements anyhow. I'm not a lady, but ladies don't make statements anyhow. They make statements depending on what you presented.
Don't side
when
with
you
them.
present
Don't
good
side
for
with
nothing, the problem with ladies is they're too expressive.
Don't
when you
side
realize
with
I am
them.
good for nothing, don't shout about it, but they shout.
Yes.
So the thing is this: once they've shouted,
and that helps them.
Yes, and that helps them to get it off.
Exactly.
But you see, when you are receiving it, the emotional man, don't receive it by trying to prove and trying to fight against it.
Yes.
What we are saying is, when you've been told you're good for nothing, the moment you've been told that, it hurts, it is painful. The best way you can do things is go back and check. Are there things I have done which prove that I have been good for nothing? Because the moment you do something positive, I am a married man and I have seen the power of positive comment. Yes. When my wife even said something, like I remember, I suffer with this issue of procrastination. I am told, can you do this? And I have so many things on my mind. I can't multitask, but at times I behave like I'm a man and just say everything, I'll do them. Then I forget. In fact, at times I am called, and 2 minutes later, I have forgotten the instruction I said I will do. I am asked after a few minutes, did you do it? And you know, at times, you will find these kinds of conflict. But what I'm saying is, you see, when when your wife makes a statement and says that this thing that you've done is not good, your wife has not said that you are not good. It is not about you. It is this action.
Yes,
remedy.
good.
Remedy the action.
I wish they said it the way you've said it.
No. They will cease to be women. Let us stay as men on this show. As men on this show, we are going to handle tough things. You see, men handle tough things.
Exactly. We are going to manage. We are going to manage our emotions.
Hey, but ladies out there, please handle us gently. Handle us in a good way. Handle us in the best way.
Have you ever seen this box
your
written,
words.
handle with care, this side
handle
up?
with care, this side up.
Yes.
And we want ladies out there who are listening to this show, handle us with care. even if it's a young man you want to dump and you want to leave him, the relationship can't work. Please do it in a gentle way. That is the brother of someone. Yes. That is the son of someone. Have some mercy on us. Feel also for us. This man may not be the one who is the answer to your problems, but this man is the answer to somebody's. So please, handle them with care. Yes. They need to be concerned about our emotions. But men, we are not going to cry. Even if we are handled roughly, that's why we are men. You see, men behave like, I told you about automobiles.
Yeah.
Men behave like this off-road. The vehicle which, it's not going to complain about the rough road, but please, we feel nice when we are going on the smooth road, the tarmac road.
Yeah.
So men, while they have the potential to handle the things that come their way, but one thing is clear, men are also emotional. And we want men to learn to control their emotions. Yes. You must not necessarily, do you know what, when you read the Bible, you find there are a number of times that men were about to lose it.
Yes.
And they were reminded, control it.
Exactly.
What am I saying? We can be able to help fellow men to control their emotions. Yeah. And by example, and also by speaking to them. Give me your parting shot. How can you be able to tell men to handle their emotions? Not just anger, not just crying, not just fear. There is even disappointment. How do we handle it in a manly way?
We are men. And my parting shot will be, let men not be ashamed of expressing their emotions. If it means not doing it in public, but going into a private place, but they go and do what? And express their emotions. They relieve their emotions. They'll be healed instead of stirring anger in them that may be dangerous, that may lead them to even suicide or even kill somebody else.
Nick, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yes.
Are you willing to say that as a man, you're willing to make yourself available for any young man out there who is saying things have gone bad, but they're saying that I need somebody to talk to? Can he talk to you?
He can talk to me.
Okay.
I'll be there.
I'm sorted.
I'll be there.
I'm sorted.
Yeah. We are men. We have to help our fellow men.
Men must bring men up.
Yes. Wow. You know, the society says that, this thing about ladies empowerment and all these things.
Yes.
So ladies have been empowered.
Yes.
But men have not been empowered to handle the empowered ladies.
Oh.
So as men, we have to stand up.
I need another show
to
for
be
this.
Counted and help our fellow. Yes.
I need another show for
Men are
that.
not empowered to empower the empowered ladies.
No, men are not empowered
to
manage an empowered lady.
Wow.
So as men, we have to stand up.
Quotable quotes.
Yeah, and be counted that we are able to manage ourselves and especially to manage our emotions.
And we on the show are coming out that we are willing to help men and help each other.
Yeah.
We must have a support system.
Give me Proverbs 17:32. That is my parting shot.
Proverbs 17:32.
What does it say?
Proverbs 17?
Proverbs 16:32, sorry. 16:32.
16:32 of Proverbs said, he that is slow to anger
Yes.
is better than the mighty.
Yes.
He that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city.
That is what I want to say. Men outside there, it is tough.
Yes.
And as somebody once said, we are under siege, or we are under siege. But let us learn to control, lest we fall. It is a privilege to be a man.
Yes.
It is a great privilege. But remember, privilege is not a right.
Wow.
It can be picked away from you. God bless you.
Wonderful. This got too emotional, but this gets well. That we are talking to the men. And we are addressing ourselves on matters emotion. And we're saying, men, let's be slow to anger. There are things that are annoying us as men. And it's true they're there. but let's be slow to anger. That one I have picked. I'm taking that home. Men, let's be there for fellow men. Let's weep with those who weep. Let's cry with those who cry. Let's walk with men who have gone through tough times. I say, if a man has lost his father, let him be willing to help other men when they lose their fathers. And they don't know how to weep. They don't know how to cry. They don't know how to express themselves. If a man has ever been left, dumped, as they say it, let him look for another man and teach them how to walk when you are dumped. Let us talk about men's emotion. Let's not get too emotional, but let's express our emotions. Too much of something is dangerous. When it comes to emotion, controlling our emotions will be our strength. We are strong men, we are emotional men, and on this show, we keep talking about it. Welcome back. Give us your feedback. God bless you.